Welcome to the basic training video tutorial for your Joomla 2.5 website. Before proceeding into the content management systems admin section, you should first understand that your Joomla website is a template made up of various module positions in which you can assign different components into the placement of those module positions. Here you can see that we have a navigation bar, which also provides for a module position for social bookmarking icons that we've placed here. In this module position down here, we have assigned an image fading module. Over here we have assigned a contact form module. Looking a bit further down into the website, you can see the main content section of your website down here, which you will learn how to update today, which is known as an article. Over here is another module position in which we have placed a simple image holder. And down here is just another module position that we have assigned an image scroller. So every template has different module positions. You should understand what your module positions are, and you should view our video tutorial explaining modules and module positions for in-depth explanations regarding modules. But for the sake of today's tutorial, we again will be updating, we'll be teaching you how to update your main content areas or your articles, as well as your menu items, and teach you how to link specific articles to specific menu items. To do so, you must first go and open a new tab and enter in your domain/administrator. Once you've done that, you will be brought to a administrative login section. You will then enter your login credentials as you have been provided, and now you will be taken to the Joomla admin dashboard. Here you can see we have some icons, easy icons for updating or creating new articles. Here we have an article manager, which provides the listing of all of your articles or site content. We have additional icons here that we will go into greater depth in future tutorials. One here that we will visit today is the menu manager. So to start off, we'll first understand the article manager. Here you can see all the articles that are now existing on this website. You should know that whether Joomla is set up in the same way, whether I'm looking upon articles or menus or modules, they will all fall into the same layout. They provide great filters here, so I can select certain articles that exist in certain categories. Upon selecting the service category, I'm going to see only those items. So any of these filters can be very useful depending on how much content you have on your website. Also, these headers and all of your listings can help you sort your website based on that criteria. Here we're sorting by title, ascending or descending. I can sort by category. I can sort by access rights. It can be very useful. But here again, we're going to look at it and sort it by title. And here you can see we have an article that is listed as featured. That featured icon shows you which article is listed on your front page. You can have numerous articles listed as featured, and that is utilized for more of like blog websites or items that you'd like to list it, more than one article. We're using this as a simple corporate or business website, so we only want this single article living here on the home page. Okay, to understand your article editors a little bit more, we're going to look here at an article called hair color. Now we will look at what it looks like in the article editor section in the admin section. Here you can see, we'll jump down here to a fancy little WordPad editor that looks just like Microsoft Word, and here you can see what your site's content looks like on the front end. So here again, we're looking at the hair color page. We're going to jump back to the front end and look at hair coloring. And here you can see the exact content and how it appears on the front end of your website. Okay, so back to the article manager, and here you need to understand that in this WordPad editor you're provided with many tools. Here we have a table that we have listed in here. We could easily add additional items. You could come in here, you could bold certain items. If you were interested in adding an image to this article, you could come down here and select your image browser, and we could either browse the images on the server, or we could add a new image that may exist on your computer. And upon selecting one and uploading it, it will be then viewable here, and you can then select it and insert it into your article. So that is your WordPad article editor. And other things you should understand about options here provided is you would always want to make sure your article is titled correctly. You want to make sure it exists in the correct category, as I explained briefly. You can here tell us if the article is published or non-published. You can set access rights. Is it viewable by the public, or are they required to be a registered user? You can set different permissions, meaning that only certain groups can view it. There are many options here. Over here in the publishing options, we can set publishing dates. Perhaps this is a coupon and you only want it to exist to a certain date. Here you can change the finished publishing date, and upon reaching that date, the article will then become unpublished. We have meta tagging options in here that we can add for search engine optimization. Right now we are just currently using your website's global settings, which we have already configured in another place. So again, that was a brief explanation on editing articles. I'm going to close this without saving it. Let's pretend that I just created a new article, and now I want this article viewable on the front page. Well, just creating an article doesn't necessarily put it on your website, even if you have it set to published. You need to be able to link it from a menu item. So now I will explain how to create a menu item and how to link it to specific articles. Okay, back to the dashboard in the administrative section. And here I can always get to the dashboard by going to the control panel. Or you should know that you could easily find these items up here as well in your drop downs. So I will now access the menu manager. And here you can see that right now we only have one menu. That's the main menu. Joomla allows you to have a multitude of menus. You could have a top menu, a bottom menu, a user menu. You can set menus that are only viewable to certain user groups or registered users. In this case, we're just going to now talk about the single menu that we have, and that's the main menu. Okay, here now as we're in the main menu, again, we're in the same kind of organizational method that Joomla uses. And now you can see instead of looking upon articles, we're looking upon menu items. And all these menu items are very easily viewed here on the front end. You can see that these items that appear down here in the drop down are listed as children to the service section. So you can assign where they exist in drop downs. Okay, so now we are going to create a new menu item for the sake of training. And by selecting new menu item, it brings us into the menu manager editor. Okay, first thing we need to do is select a menu type. As I spoke about before, Joomla can be expanded and with extensions and different functionality, and all of those items would be selectable in here when you're selecting your menu type. But for today, we are just talking about articles. So we're going to select a single article menu type, and that will then give us an option as to what article do we want to link it to. So in this case, we're going to call it waxing. We're going to link to the waxing article, and I'm going to name the menu item waxing sample. Okay, now alias is not important. It will be created automatically. If you begin changing your menu titles, then yes, you want to modify your alias so that it likely reflects what your menu title is. Other options we have here is, do we want this published? Yes. Access level, do we want it open to the public, or do we want it only viewable by registered viewers, or special rights which we could assign? We're going to keep it at public. Menu location, right now we only want it in the main menu as it's our only option. If I had additional menus like top menu, user menu, I could assign it into those menus as well. Parent item, here again, if I want it to be on the main level of that navigation, I would just leave it in the root. If I wanted it to be a part of a drop down for the sake of training, I'm going to put it under contact us. And you will notice it will become a drop down in the Contact Us menu section. Other important things when creating menus is the page display. We want to make sure that your page display is always accurate for search engine optimization sakes. In this case, we are going to take the title and we're going to place it in there, and we're going to leave that as the page title, browser page title. And now we can also enter in meta tagging items, very similar to how you were able to do that with your articles. Again, right now we're just using your global sections. Therefore, if you have no information listed here, Joomla will refer back to your global settings. Okay, so for example's sake, I am now going to hit save and close. That will bring me back to my menu manager, which gives me the listings. Now I can see that under waxing, under Contact Us, I now have waxing sample. So I'm going to go back to the front page of your website, and I'm going to now hit refresh to the front on the front end of your website. And now we can see that I have a drop down for Contact Us. When I select waxing sample, it will now link me to that article. And you can see we have no other module positions living here, and that will be explained in how to assign additional modules to these articles or to these menu items on in depth in the module manager tutorial. So for today's example, again, we went over how to update your menu items, and you can see we have a new menu item here existing for waxing. For the sake of training, I will now remove that, so we will no longer need it. If you have an item you don't need, you check it off, you hit trash. And I am now going to return to the front page of the website and go to the home page, and you will now see that page is no longer published, or that menu item is no longer published. Again, for a summary of today's tutorial, we also learned how to update articles and how to utilize the WordPad editor, as well as how to understand our menuing system or our article listing system here. But again, looking into your menu or your article editor, the WordPad is very easy to use. One other thing you should know, that if you are familiar with HTML, you could simply toggle your editor and it becomes an HTML editor. If you have HTML code you wish to program in, you can simply copy and paste it into here, and your page will look as you have already programmed it to an HTML. So again, that was your brief tutorial on your Joomla 2.5 website and how to update your menus and articles. Please feel free to browse other tutorials that we have available on our website. Thank you.